Hello everyone, I'm Shubha Kankaria and welcome to episode 15 of Daastan-E-Raahi. It is a travel talk where we get to know about amazing places through wonderful stories of various travelers. So our today's guest is an IT professional, adventure enthusiast and a passionate skydiver. He has done more than 125 skydives in different countries like Thailand, Dubai, Russia. Today, he's going to talk about his journey, challenges, and what it takes to become a licensed skydiver. So, guys, without any further delay, let's get on board Sachin Joglekar. Hi, Sachin. Welcome to Daastan-E-Raahi. I'm so excited to have you for the talk.
Hi Shubha, hi. Same here. I am excited also to talk to you and tell your followers my experience about skydiving and how I went through it. So looking forward to it.
To start off with, I want to know how your love for adventure and sport and travel began, actually.
So everybody must be thinking something like जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा काला कुछ impact है क्या इसके life का, because everything is very similar, like road trips and skydiving is what exactly is shown in that. However, that is not how it started. It started with small adventure trips which I took with my friends since the college days. Going on motorcycles to Goa and Lonavala from Pune, and just normal biking near our house and some touristy places near our house. So I bought a Royal Enfield somewhere when I finished my college, and that's how I started this biking journey.
Okay.
But biking is like everybody does biking. Every college going kid in India has a bike, and वो होता है ना कॉलेज में कि यार सभी लोग यही कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी यही करूं. What am I doing different?
Yeah.
And then the adventure number 2 started. Then we thought, okay, chalo. अभी bike आया तो लेह लद्दाख आया. So it's like everybody who has a bike wants to go to take it and go to Leh Ladakh. So
Right.
even my friends said, okay, let's go to Leh Ladakh. And I said, no, I mean, Leh Ladakh is nothing but a new touristy now. So we'll not go to Leh Ladakh. Let's try something different.
Okay.
And that's when I started researching. There was a guy from Pune who went all the way to Thailand, and it was in the newspapers and the radios everywhere. And then we started exploring that angle. And then we also did that trip all the way up to Thailand from not from Mumbai. We started from Guwahati, and then from there we went through Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and went all the way up to Thailand. So that was also one of the adventurous trips. But that trip was the beginning of kicking the bucket, or I don't know what phrase you call that. It was like a tick of the bucket and got me into that adventure thing, and that's how all this began.
Wow, I mean, bike trip to Thailand must have been exciting also.
It was exciting, but it was tiring. So it was not as easy and as exciting it looks like, because riding a bike for 21 continuous days, crossing through borders and going through all different weathers. Somewhere it's rainy, somewhere it's cold, somewhere it's very hot. So it was a tiring journey, yes. Enjoyable, but tiring.
And how many days it took you to reach Thailand?
It took us 21 days, but
Oh,
it took us 21 days because we did not directly go from Myanmar to Thailand. So we took a longer route. So if you see the world map, you will see that just next to Myanmar is Laos, and just next to Laos is Cambodia, and Thailand is landlocked between these three countries. So we took a circle and then went inside Thailand.
okay, okay. And then how did you land up to your passion of skydiving?
So it all began in Thailand. So when we had reached Bangkok, there was a Royal Enfield club in Bangkok. So there are some motorcycle enthusiasts who imported Royal Enfields from India, and they ride it there in Bangkok. And they were very excited to know that there was somebody from India who were coming on Royal Enfields all the way to their town in Bangkok. So that's how they had invited us for a dinner one night. for a party, and then we went there, and then we started chit chatting and all that. So one of those guys was a skydiver, and then he asked us that, now that you have done such an adventure, would you like to come skydiving with us tomorrow? And we said, okay, let's go. No harm in trying one skydive at least. And so we went with them to a nearby drop zone somewhere between Bangkok and Pattaya.
Okay.
And when I tasted the skies for the first time. So the next day I went, and then I was attached to a tandem instructor, and I did that jump from 13,000 or I think 10,000 feet. And that was a tandem skydive. And I was like, boss, I want to do this. I want to learn this. And the reason it attracted me, like I told you some time back, that after riding our motorcycles for 21 continuous days, the amount of adrenaline or the amount of thrill, passion, or whatever adjectives you can add, did not come in those 21 days. Or it came, but it came very slowly. But these 60-second free fall from the aeroplane, it just covered it up. It just gave all the enjoyment, adventure all together in just 60 seconds, which we could not do in 21 days of this riding or any other adventures like bungee jumping, etc., that I had done in the past since I was born or since I was in the school or etc. So that is what attracted me towards skydiving. And then at that point of time, I had decided, it was somewhere around 2015, I had decided that someday I would like to learn this sport and become a professional skydiver.
Wow. I mean, from the first dive itself, you wanted to go on this line.
Correct, correct, correct.
Wow. I'm sure that that must be very thrilling experience to have a thought like that.
Yes, yes, it was. And I don't know, everybody says it's adrenaline aata hai, there is an adrenaline rush, there is something in our body, that happens and that gives us that rush. So I really felt that, and that is why it was always stuck in my head from 2018 2015 till until I could get that license or become a professional skydiver.
Amazing, amazing. But then how did you like how did what were your next steps? Because you did your first dive, you decided you want to be a licensed skydiver. But what actions you actually took on after that?
Frankly, none. It was only because I knew it was expensive. So the main thing was to collect the money. But the research and everything did not come along until and unless I had the sufficient amount of money. And I thought, let's do this. So since I had done my first skydive at the same place in Thailand, I decided to, I think in 2017, December is when I went on a solo trip to Thailand and decided that, okay, let's give this 15 days and let's see if I am able to become a licensed skydiver in Thailand at the same drop zone where I had. Drop zone is a term which is used for a skydiving center. So I go to the Thailand drop zone and try to get myself a license.
Okay. So then you went back to Thailand itself to try your
Yeah,
next
I
level.
went back to Thailand in December 2017 sometime, and then I said, okay, let's learn about this.
Okay.
And we started. I mean, it's not that I went to Thailand, nothing happened, but the journey started in Thailand at the same drop zone. So I started taking the ground school, and the logbook was given, and then uh, they did ground training, फिर parachute कैसा होता है, and all those theory things started in Thailand.
Yeah.
So for the first few days, there was only theory, and since the was not very good, so they only did theory and practice and ground school and all that.
Okay.
But nothing really moved in Thailand because of the weather conditions, or you can say that the drop zone or the skydiving center size was very small, or I mean, it is a very windy location. There is a sea nearby. There were multiple factors because of which I spent almost 15 days in Thailand, all of the way up to 31st of December, and could only one or two jumps there.
Oh, okay.
So 15 days, nothing happened. The skydiving license is like 25 skydives, and I am just two. So you can say that there was nothing.
Right.
I could achieve nothing there.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed coming back because neither did I achieve what I wanted to. Plus, I spent a lot of money in the stay, in food, everything else that we like 15, 20 days. A lot of chunk of my savings did vanish away in those 15 days.
Okay. So then I'm sure there must have been some learnings of those 15 days for you.
Yes, there were a lot of learnings. One is to, getting my thought process correct, that this is going to happen. It is not easy that you just go to a skydiving center, just bring out your credit card and walk out with a license.
Yeah.
It is not that. There is something called as theory. There is examinations. There is a lot of hard work that you have to put into to become a skydiver. Because initially, the mind in which I went to, it was a very risky mindset. कि यार जाना है, पैसा देना है, and I'll become a skydiver in like 15 days. It felt very easy. But
Right.
then spending 15 days there was a lot of learning, and I understood that this is a serious sport. This is like Olympians go and do a javelin throw. So what goes behind that? It's a training. So this is something very similar. This is a sport. This is not a passion or anything.
Yeah.
But failing, I also met these instructors there who were coming with us and going back to the drop zone. So from the place we stayed to the skydiving center was a few kilometers apart, and we all used to go together and come together.
Okay.
So that's where I met one instructor who was taking tandem rides there. And then I asked him that, will it ever be possible for me to become a skydiver? Because if every time I can only jump twice in 15 days, I'll have to stay here for 3 months. It is impossible for me to become a skydiver ever. And that's when he then told me that, if you really want to get your license in 15 days, he advised me to go to Russia and get my license. And that's how the Russia came into the picture. And he's the reason why I am here today talking to you from Russia.
Yeah. So why Russia? But I mean, what was the reason of going to recommending Russia for skydiving?
So there are only two places in this world who have huge skydiving centers. One is United States and two is Russia.
Okay.
And for staying in India, for us, Russia is of course reachable. Visas are easy, and the cost factor also a huge thing. Like, it is the cheapest in Russia and United States. These are the only two places where skydiving is cheap. Is not as expensive as Dubai or any other drop zones in the world, or even European drop zones. So that was one reason Russia came into the picture. But yes, I was exploring not only Russia. Even when the instructor advised me of Russia, I did my own research of Dubai. I did my research of Kuwait, then Spain, United States. And after comparing all the costs, it was very, very logical to take the Russian route. One, because of the airfare. Second, because of the visa costs, easiness of visa. And there, Russia and our economy is almost the same. So when I swipe my card here for 100 rupees, swipe my card here for 100 rubles, which is the local currency here, only 101 rupees will be debited from my account. So that is also a huge factor that comes into the picture. Unlike Thailand, which is double, US, which is 70 times, Dubai, which is 18 times. So
Right. That makes sense. That
that's
completely makes sense. Why Russia sounds like a good choice, especially being in India.
correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Correct.
so if we talk about any adventure sport, the risk factor always exists. So did you
Agreed.
experience anything which you felt now this is what the risk is called? So did that happen with you?
I mean, in the initial days of training or in the overall experience till now, you're asking?
Yeah, in overall, like, I mean, just as an adventure sport, part of the adventure sport, I mean, we all know that risk is a factor, which always go hand in hand with an adventure sport.
Yes,
So in
yes,
terms of
yes.
that, did you had any such kind of experiences where you felt your life
Yeah,
at risk?
yes, yes. There are many. I mean, in fact, when we start learning skydiving, the first jump in itself is a huge risk of your life that you're taking on yourself. But eventually, when you learn the sport and you start jumping at various different places, you will understand that the risk of fatal injury in a skydiving is almost equal to the risk of having a fatal injury in a car accident.
Acha, that's
So,
interesting.
so it's same. So if you are very professional, if you know how to skydive and if you have done the good training and everything, it will not be a fatal accident. Similar to how you learn a car, you're driving a car and you know how to drive it, you know how to look around, you know how to follow the rules and not jump signals, etc.
Hmm.
Your chances of having a fatal accident are relatively low, and similarly is skydive.
Okay, but would you like to share any experiences, like such kind of experiences that you personally encountered?
Yeah, I did. I mean, when I had done my 70-second skydive at the same drop zone or location where I am jumping now,
Yeah.
I did have parachute malfunction, and which happens with every skydiver. So you cannot avoid that because parachutes are something which are packed manually,
Mhm.
and when it's done manually, the chance of errors are always there.
Mm.
So such errors happen in everybody's life, but we are also trained for that. So I had a similar experience when the right hand side of my parachute had a line over malfunction. Line over malfunctions means a parachute is on the top of your head and the lines are then attached to that parachute and there are two lines in your hand. But sometimes due to a packer's mistake, one of the line goes above the parachute. So this is the parachute and the parachute line is above it. And
Okay.
when it goes above, that part of the parachute cannot inflate with the air, and
Okay.
that's why part is does not inflate. And then I opened my parachute at 5,500 feet like I normally do,
Yeah.
and then I started spinning at the speed of around 200 kilometers per hour, very fast spins. It is called a high speed malfunction,
Okay.
and we are really trained to go through such high speed malfunctions. But yes, I did have that, and I had to immediately decide within 5 seconds to release the canopy that I had. I mean, cut that parachute away. So there is a cutting instrument on the right hand side of our parachute.
Okay.
So I cut main parachute and then opened my reserve parachute, and I must have opened at around 3,500 my reserve parachute because I took only 5 seconds. If I
Hmm.
would have made 5 more seconds, I would have been at 1,500, and 2 more seconds, I would have been on the ground, fatally on the ground. That the decision had to be taken in 12 seconds, but 12 seconds was too late. 5 seconds was the correct time, so I took it and opened my parachute and was able to land very safely in the correct area of the drop zone.
Oh my God, that sounds like such a scary experience.
It was scary. It was scary. So it is not that I'm saying like this. I did not feel that scare. Yes, I was scared too. I was maybe abusing when I was doing that, abusing to nobody, abusing to maybe myself, or just natural abusive words that come out of your mouth.
I know.
I was shivering. I could not speak for like 5-10 minutes maybe. So nothing was coming. So it was an emotional roller coaster that I went through, and I was paused, literally paused. And the walk from where I landed to where we keep the parachute, it is like I think, a kilometer long walk. So I still feel that it was the longest walk of my life from that place to keeping the parachute back. You
But
know,
then, did you get hurt by any chance? Like,
no, no, no. I was not hurt at all. I landed properly on my feet. Though the reserve canopy is relatively smaller than my main canopy, But such things happen. You don't follow all the rules. Like when you're landing a canopy, there are some rules that you have to be at some place at 1000 feet. You have to be at some place at 600 feet. You have to be at some place 300 feet, and then you follow a landing pattern, a U-shaped landing pattern. But when you have such emergencies, you are given a leeway. Other skydivers and other people, including the aeroplane and everybody else, will give you right of the way. And that's why there will be no aeroplane landing till I land, no aeroplane taking off till I take off, because I can come in the middle of everybody's patterns. So since I have a cutaway, I had the right of the way, and without following any pattern, I was able to land very comfortably. It's just you have to land against the wind. So I did that, and there were no injuries at all.
And then,
Mental injuries, physical injuries, none.
but then people around, did they realize you were in a very difficult situation in the air?
No, nobody realizes it. Everybody realizes only when they see it on the ground. But the ground staff or the ground crew, they do inform the pilot who is about to land a flight, and there is next load waiting, which will go up after us. So even they are stopped. So at least those two high risk people are stopped. Other skydivers, they can always look. So we are never in each other's way. So
Okay.
other skydivers were never a problem. But yes, they are aware because the color of the reserve parachute is always white. It is made of a different material. So if you just look at the sky, you will always realize this is a reserve parachute. So
Okay.
experienced people know that he had a cutaway.
I mean, that's kind of an indication for people that, he might be having an issue and that's why he's landing.
Correct, correct. People who are experienced, even now with my experience, I can, sitting on the ground, understand that somebody has opened, somebody had a cutaway and using an emergency parachute. Because the color, the pattern, and his landing pattern, you can immediately guess that, he's doing something different. He doesn't have his main canopy or main parachute.
Yeah, I'm sure that comes with a lot of experience and a lot of skydiving.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so for people who want to become a licensed skydiver, what steps should one follow? I mean, a lot of people are not aware what exactly is required to follow. And
Correct,
like you also said, your journey was not that easy. You made your own
correct, correct.
research and know about it. So, what would you tell people if somebody wants to be a licensed skydiver?
Right. The first thing that everybody should do is first choose a drop zone or a skydiving center of their choice. And choosing that drop zone and skydiving center is going to be very critical in their journey of becoming a licensed skydiver. There are, like I said, there are some skydiving centers in Dubai, there are some in Kuwait, there are so many in US, there are many in Russia, there are many in Europe. Now, if you are based in India, I would 100% recommend, based on my experience, to fly to Russia during the summer time
Mhm.
and the USPA or United States Parachute Association's license. But if you're based in Europe, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to figure out which is your nearest drop zone. Or if you are in the Gulf, if you are in India and you're comfortable more with the Gulf than Russia, then you can go to Gulf also. But all skydiving centers on their websites have the rates listed of how much they charge to teach you skydiving. So you can compare that, and will say that the cost factor is very attractive in Russia. Like a jump will cost you 1600 rupees after you become a licensed skydiver in Russia, whereas the same jump will cost you 4500 in Dubai. Now
Oh,
you'll have to do the mathematics and see where it is affordable to you.
right, right.
That is number one, choosing your skydiving location or the skydiving center. Number is your budget. How much budget are you allocating for the actual skydiving? For Russia, I would say 2 lakhs should be enough for you to fly from India to the skydiving center in Russia. getting your license, going back, which should include your flight, stay, and everything. And all I'm talking on a minimalistic basis. If you try to, eat at an expensive restaurant every day, it will not happen in 2 lakh rupees. So if you do it in a budget way, 2 to 2.5 lakh rupees is maximum that you need in Russia.
Okay.
Number is looking at the season when you're going, as this is a very weather dependent sport. You cannot go to Dubai in the month of April when it is summer because it will be closed. Similarly, you cannot go to Russia in December when it is winter. So you will have to choose your seasons properly. You'll have to given at least a month's time if you want to become a licensed skydiver. So you'll need full 30 days to become a licensed skydiver. And number four, your health. Though health is not a major impact, but if you really want to clear your levels quickly, learn it quickly, and get it done without any repeats or all that thing, I would say you should be in your weight height ratio, not above or not below that. Having your correct weight height ratio will definitely help, and a bit of flexibility, because it is going to be tiring when they ask you to pack your own parachute on one full day. Your knees and your arms are going to pain. When you are learning skydiving, for one day they'll try to make you like a banana, and for whole day they'll keep you in that position, so your body is going to pain. It is a very athletic activity. So when you, though you don't realize, but when you have 15 kgs parachute on your back and you're walking, going up and jumping down, it is nothing but like a workout of 30 minutes. 30 minutes fast paced workout is one skydive. So then you're going to do 25. So having your physical fitness is very important.
Okay. And how do you see the mindset importance in this? Because considering the risk involved and considering the kind of adventure it is, I'm sure mindset
Correct.
must play an important role in this also.
It definitely does. There are so many things happening around you. Plus, there is so much adrenaline that kicks in. Uh, the first experience that you're going to have is going in an aeroplane which has a door open. You know, I don't know anybody has experienced that. So you'll be experiencing that for the first time when the door opens and the flight literally stops. So that is an experience that you're going to have. And there are many such experiences each and every jump. So mindset is going to be play a very important role in becoming a licensed skydiver. Your negative thoughts have to be buried and positive thoughts have to come in. You have to be quick, and your mind has to be there always. So don't go with the touristy mindset ki chalo yaar Thailand chalte, chalo Russia chalte, 15 din rehte hai. So if you have something like that, you will have to remove it, because it will never help you become licensed skydiver. It is not a touristy activity. It is a sport that you're learning while putting your lives at risk. So if you see the risk to reward ratio, your mindset has to be very clear.
Right. But then how much do you think good training is important for this sport? I mean, of course, training plays a very important role. So how important do you think it has to play?
Training does play an important part, but if you are smart, you will understand that who is really training you, who is really untraining you, and who is really just playing around with you. But most of the skydiving centers today do have a professional team of 2 or 3 instructors who will only teach skydiving. There will be other people who are doing fun jumps. There will be other people who are doing the canopy work. So if you get the right team of people, you should be able to do it. And I think since it is a very competitive business, like Russia has 3 or 4 drop zones,
Right.
everyone has competent teams.
Okay.
So I don't think so. If you choose the right skydiving center, go through the reviews and everything, you should be able to land up with the correct training personnel.
Okay. Okay. One more thing which comes in my mind when we talk about training and all is the equipment which is required. for
Mm.
doing the skydiving. So, do you easily get these equipments in India, or like, or do you want to get it from other countries? How it is?
Nothing related to skydiving is available in India. So you'll have to buy everything from outside. Most material is available in US. It is available in Russia. It is available in Dubai. It is available across the world. I
Mm-hmm.
think most of it is made in New Zealand and United States and some part of Europe. This is only the parachute I'm talking about. There are other materials like altimeter and the helmet that can be locally sourced, but parachute is something it will come only from these three hubs. What is it? One of the most expensive and most important equipment in skydiving.
Okay. I think this all information is so important, and I don't know how much people actually know about it. Especially specifically if we talk about India, skydiving was kind of introduced to us by Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Like we all knew
Correct,
about it,
correct,
but the
correct,
adrenaline rush you get was actually shown in the movie. So I'm sure
correct.
a lot of people would not know these minute details about the training and about the whole process in short.
Agree, agree.
Yeah. So, moving on from your experience of skydiving, and you have known like people for so long now in the industry, do you
Yes,
think
yes.
skydiving can be a very fulfilling career option? What do you think about that?
Yes and no. Again, depends on how you start. So if there is a guy in India right now who has just passed out of college and he asks me that, I want to leave all this, I want to learn skydiving and start it as a career.
Mm.
Sorry to, but it's a big no.
Okay.
And the reason, there are multiple reasons for that, and once that person comes and learns it, he will understand. Because India is behind. We are not a European or a developed country where these sports have been in our country for last 10, 12, 13, 30 years.
Mm.
However, countries like United States, Europe, Gulf, Russia, these countries have been in this sport for the last 20, 25 years. So here in Russia, there must be at least 10,000 people who are skydivers, whereas if you compare that with India removing the army, there must not be more than 500. 500 is also a huge number that I am saying.
Mm.
So when you have these 10,000 skydivers who have been skydiving since the last 10 years, they're already 10 years senior to you.
Right.
There are people who have 5,000 jumps, 4,000 jumps. So definitely when there is a job opening, suppose a new skydiving center starts somewhere in Goa tomorrow. And if Goa wants to hire people, they will definitely hire people with larger experience. And that's where these people from Russia, US, UK, and all these people come into the picture.
Right.
So the kind of career option is gone there because you cannot become a tandem instructor, you cannot become a coach, you cannot become a camera flyer. You can, I'm not saying you cannot, you can, but can you land up a job at 500 jump experience versus there is a person with 5,000 jump experience and the salary is the same?
Right.
So of course they will hire him. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, no as a career option.
And I think it's quite an expensive affair also. I mean, first of all, to do the course itself, you need to do so many jumps, and that loads you with a lot of finances. So,
Correct.
kind of expense also makes it difficult for someone. And
Correct.
then if
So
you're
if somebody wants to become a tandem instructor,
yeah,
first he'll need 5 skydive experience.
yeah,
So 500 and you multiply by that by 3,000, so 15 lakhs is gone there.
right,
And plus your traveling expenses. So you'll have to invest 20 lakh rupees to become a tandem instructor. And then compete with thousands of tandem instructors who have already jumped 15,000 times, 10,000 times. So that
right.
competition, you will lose out on that competition.
Yeah. And this reminds me of just one question which I forgot to ask before that. What are the course levels? Like, there must be some basic and then advanced and all that. So, would you like to talk about that?
Yes, so the world's best licensing authority in skydiving is the United States Parachute Association, who give licenses to all nationals of all countries,
Okay.
and all zones have accepted USPA as the gold standard of skydiving, and their ratings and certifications are accepted everywhere. So when I was telling that you can become a licensed skydiver in 2 lakh rupees, I was telling you about USPA, that is United States Parachute Association's A license, category A license.
Okay.
So A license has 25 jumps. It teaches you basic skydiving, and after that you get A license, that is level 1, and then there are up to 4 levels: as B license, C license, and D license. And it depends on number of jumps that you have, number of experience you have collected, number of people you have jumped with, and there are many categories in that. But
Okay.
concentrating on A license, so A license can be done in 25 jumps, of which 10 jumps should be with 1 or 2 instructors. That is your initial jump. From jump number 1 to jump number 10 will be with the first jump will be with 2 instructors. Second, from second onwards until 10 will be with 1 instructor who will virtually he'll hold you while jumping out of an aircraft. He will
Okay.
guide you. He will teach you everything on the ground and make you do the same things in the sky.
Okay.
And that is how the thing goes for 10 jumps. So if you clear all those 10 jumps, so there are some categories in that. If you're able to prove to your instructor that after 10 jumps, okay, I have learned everything, he will clear you for solo jumps.
Okay.
After that, jump out of an aeroplane alone for the next 15 times.
Okay.
And once you complete those 15 jumps, you reach a total of 25. USPA says that you can apply for a license. How you apply for a license? You, on the 25th or the 26th jump, you again do a check dive or like an exam in the sky. There's an exam on the ground. And once you pass both those exams, you get the license from USPA.
Okay. That's quite interesting and quite a process.
Yes, yes. It is a big process. They have designed it also very well. So it is, if anybody is interested, they can go to uspa.org. It is a website of United States Parachute Association. They have given all information of what is accelerated free fall course, what is in level 1, what is in accelerated free fall level 7, what different things you'll have to do for A license. They have forms, and they have a skydiver's information manual which you can download and read through it. It will help you a lot.
Okay. Okay. So after skydiving, what are your future plans in terms of the sport?
I just, like yesterday, I completed my 131st jump, and my
Wow.
instructor was very happy with my jump. So he gave me B license yesterday. So I am now USPA B.
Wow.
I will USPA C on the 200 jump. So now is 7th, so I have time till the 22nd of September, and I'm now targeting USPSC,
Okay.
which is the third highest license. And after that, there's only one license left that I can take, that is D.
Mhm.
But D license is at 500 jumps.
Okay.
So once I reach 200 jumps, a lot of things open up for me. Number one is I can do jumps with attaching a camera to my helmet. Number two, start doing wingsuit jumps. So I'll have to take a different training for that. So while wearing a wingsuit, then I can do base jumping. Base jumping is again a totally different thing wherein you can jump from bridges, big buildings, to like mountains. So you can do that.
Like
So
it's
that
a
has opened up.
free fall jump, or how is it? I mean,
There is a very small free fall in that, like 2-3 seconds maybe, and after that you open your parachute.
okay.
But it is the most dangerous activity. Even wingsuiting is dangerous, because wingsuiting, if done wrong,
Uh-huh.
can vigorously increase your speed and can be fatal very, very quickly.
So then
So
what
that is,
exactly is wingsuiting? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would not know what wingsuiting is.
so wingsuiting is, similar to skydiving. You jump out of an aeroplane, but your body, like now, hands are free, my legs are free.
Yeah.
So in between my hands, there is a material and it looks like a wing. So your body looks like a bird, like a wing. So
Okay.
your body is, your suit is designed in such a way that you become like a wing. So when you fly from the aircraft, you start flying like a bird.
Okay.
So it is design suit, and it I will be eligible to do that once I complete 200. So I just met a guy today at the drop zone, and he was telling me that he did a very minute mistake, and because of which his head went like 2 degrees down. That's why his speed increased by like, he went up to 300 kilometers per hour from 200 with just a small twist.
Oh my God.
So a level of professionalism and a lot of hard work will be needed there. So maybe I'll attempt that next year.
Yeah. I mean,
So all,
I don't know how many people actually know that, base jumping or wingsuiting kind of sport exists. I mean,
yes, yes,
we are still
they
kind of
do
exploring
exist.
skydiving right now, and base jumping
Yes,
and wingsuiting is like much more ahead of that.
that is the next thing that you will have to do in skydiving. So it is either free flying. So free flying is nothing different than what I do, but there are some athlete in the sky that you do that instead of just a position like a banana, you start sitting, you start, with the head down, or you fly on your back. So there are some acrobatics that are done in skydiving. So that is called free flying.
Okay.
Free flying very, very fast, and it needs athletic body. Unfortunately, mine is not, so I cannot go on that road, at least as of now, but maybe in future I can. So let's see.
Okay. And this brings almost to end of our talk, Sachin. But I want to know which were your most memorable skydives. Like I'm sure you have done 131 now. Like you said, the number is
Yes,
131. So do you remember any skydives which are very special for you?
yes, one was my Independence Day skydive, which I did on the 15th of August in Thailand.
Mhm.
So I with the Indian flag, and that it was a very, very proud moment for me to do that successfully, holding the flag of India in the air.
Wow.
The second jump was my 100 jump, which I did for Tech Mahindra's Don't Be Plastic initiative. So as it was my 100 jump, I wanted to do something special. So Tech Mahindra at that time was where I worked, was doing a campaign for don't use single-use plastic, and I tried to promote it with a skydive, and it went pretty viral. So even Anand Mahindra tweeted about it, and all our CEO, everybody tweeted about it. So that was one proud moment. And the
Wonderful.
latest is a jump that I did 2 days ago, which was my 125th jump. It was very, very special because so many mistakes that I have been doing in the past 25 jumps were corrected in that jump thanks to a very nice instructor that I found. My heading and my body position, posture, and tracking I could do, and I posted that video also on Instagram, was very correct, and that's how I got my B license also. So these are the three memorable jumps for now, and I am pretty sure they'll keep increasing.
Wow. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot many ones.
Yes,
We
yes,
wish you
yes.
all the amazing adventures for your upcoming skydives, and you may end up doing base jumping and wingsuiting and be as successful as you have been doing for skydiving. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
for coming on Daastan-E-Raahi. I'm sure this was a very insightful conversation, and people, whoever is interested in knowing more about skydiving, they would be glad to hear this conversation. I'm sure.
Yes, and I've also written a small blog which is on my Instagram profile. So anybody needs more information, they can go there, read that, message me on Instagram, and I will definitely help out in helping you achieve your goals if I can.
Definitely. And
Thank
thank you
you.
everyone for watching. We'll see you again next week with another wonderful traveler. Thank you.